I want to share the events that led to the UAP phenomena that has been taking place in my backyard since October 2020. Now, since 2005, I have been operating through the dimension of inner stillness and operating through that quantum field reality. You experience paranormal phenomena, you experience psychic events, and receive downloads of information virtually instantly. On this particular evening, I stepped outside, and it was around 6:30 p.m. Still light out, and within minutes, I noticed a hula hoop shaped object, maybe 5 or 6 times the size of a hula hoop, coming out of the west. It had no form of propulsion, and I pointed it out to my neighbors, and we watched it cruise across the backyard and for several miles. About 5 minutes after that, we were in the center of the backyard again, and I was facing the northern sky when I noticed then a pill shaped object coming down at a very abrupt 45-degree angle. It wasn't a trajectory you would normally see a plane do. And I pointed that out to my neighbors. We were sort of left wondering, what it was we observed when a few nights later, and it was a very clear, crisp fall night, we were in the backyard again, and we were standing 5 or 6 feet apart when I suddenly got the vibrational hit to move away from them. So I moved about 8 to 10 feet away from them. When I looked up after receiving that signal or sort of vibrational hit, I noticed coming over the townhouse, incredibly slow, very close range, no more than 200 feet, a black silent triangle. And what I remembered on it was 4 gray circular pads. I called the guys over, and my one neighbor, Matt, immediately thought, "Is that a flock of birds?" And I said, "Focus, guys. Take a real good look." We stood there for about 8 to 10 seconds, frozen. I was in amazement at what I was witnessing, and to this day, don't ask us why we didn't run onto the sidewalk to see it, move away from us. Those initial sightings, and I'm very grateful that they were there for that initial triangle sighting, because that triangle sighting was absolutely incredible. And it wasn't the last sighting we'd have with it. Shortly coming into the new year, I began to experience spontaneous flashes of light in the sky. I would open up the back door to throw something into recycling when I would experience a massive flash through thick cloud winter cover. This was January, February. It took me several months to realize where the source of these flashes were coming from, and they were coming from this black triangle. Now, in the following year, 2021, May, we were in the backyard again, and I was facing the driveway. So I was facing south, and my two neighbors, Matt and James, were talking to me, facing me. When I suddenly noticed triangle coming back, but this time it was more energetic, not quite holographic, something in between. It was about 300 feet above us, came up to my right, and I called out, "It's back, triangle." They turned around, and we watched it cruise for a few seconds over our neighbor's house behind us, and then vanish before our eyes. We were left astounded once again. A few minutes passed, and we were now in our respective positions again, and again I was facing the driveway, when now triangle returned, same trajectory, same pattern, only this time it was even more energetic. Now, if you can imagine a triangle, cut it in half into 2 pieces, top to bottom, and then cut it sideways. So now you have 4 pieces. The 4 sections were coming together and moving apart, coming together and moving apart. I called out, "Triangle, it's back." Matt screamed, "Bullshit." I said, "Turn around." And they turned around, and we watched it move across the sky, coming together and moving apart, and then again vanish before our very eyes. I have come to realize that the phenomena with its limitless potential and capabilities, had to and has been demonstrating its potential in segments in order for me to understand what is really going on. A few months later, we were in the backyard again, standing on our respective porches, when Matt had noticed lights dancing in the sky. And those lights dancing in the sky were then translated into another UAP sighting, the triangle again. So it has had to sort of break up its potential so that we can have a greater understanding, because the technology I'm speaking of is consciousness based and it has no limits. The other thing I will mention is that every single experience, and I've had thousands over the past 2.5 years, and I've recorded over 400 videos of the phenomena, various phenomena. Every single experience has been incredibly uplifting and profoundly spiritual, some which even rival my spontaneous awakening, which included third eye activation. I know there are rumblings and there is another sort of official narrative trying to play out, but what I'm going to emphasize is that the true phenomena, the real phenomena, really doesn't make mistakes. They are energetic, enlightened masters, and they operate through the quantum field, and we are connected with them through the dimension of inner stillness, or universal God, Christ consciousness, that no mind state. That, I have come to understand, is what has been a beacon to them and what has attracted them, because in the fall of 2020, I didn't go looking for them. I knew they existed, but they came looking for me. So I just want to reiterate that every single experience has been absolutely positive. Is it possible for someone to have a negative experience? Perhaps, because we're powerful creators. But what I understand with the phenomena and what I channeled in Cosmic Contact is that these are essentially future or parallel versions of us coming back to inspire and assist in our evolutionary process. They've also made it clear that they're not our saviors, and that they're not going to reveal themselves en masse because they just don't want to be another distraction. They have said, what would be the point of us revealing ourselves when most people don't even know themselves? So I would suggest, if you're interested in experiencing the phenomena, come to know yourself first, beyond the thinking mind, beyond the physical body, through meditative practice and awareness of the present moment, of the dimension of inner stillness, because it is through that quantum field reality, or what some describe as New Earth, where not only all things are possible, but you can come to experience the phenomena for yourself.